Hey, this is Danny Sanderson, and today I'm interviewing Ironrat. So, how are you guys doing?
All right,
yeah, looking forward to the gig.
Great. So, obviously, you guys have recently been doing Metal to the Masses in Dewsbury, and you're sort of looking. I think didn't you qualify to get into the next round? You qualified to get to the next round.
We won that round, which was a surprise and nice as well.
That's good. But in terms of if you got to Bloodstock, what can people expect from your set? And is there any bands you're sort of interested in checking out while you're there?
Got to be Slayer for a start.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Slayer, yeah, all-time favourite of ours.
Yeah. Not 100% on the entire lineup yet. I mean, there's Paradise Lost, Anthrax.
That's good.
And Venom are playing, which one of our friends will be really jealous about. If we get out there.
That'd be good.
Yeah, totally. Set wise, you was it's I think we're down for half an hour set, aren't we? So it's going to be a hard hitting set, isn't it? Pretty.
Yeah, probably a similar set that you'll hear tonight. Probably what we think is the strongest set that we've got.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I noticed that you guys have been working on a music video recently. So, what's the concept of the music video? And
the music video was a little while ago. The concept was sort of the song's about sort of the media manipulation of the masses.
Yeah.
So there's little snippets in there, but with a slight comedy vibe to it.
Yeah.
On that theme. And then the rest of it is just us playing and trying to get some energy across from the song.
Yeah, and it's the radio guy and the newsreader and the tearing up the burning newspaper at the end.
But obviously, that has a kind of a maybe not a political message behind it, but it's kind of more like, well, I don't think political is the right word, but would you consider social commentary is probably the best way. So would you sort of see yourself as a band that does more like that sort of thing, or is that just kind of like a...
that song's sort of a middle ground, and it's kind of mixed with social political.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sort of social commentary and a little bit of politics thrown in there, because you can't help but be affected by what goes on around you politically.
Yeah.
It affects society, so to me it's mixed.
Don't believe the hype, in other words.
In terms of I know you've got a new album out called Monolith. So how did you... Monument even. Sorry.
Sorry.
Got looking at wrong sources, but so how did the recording process and everything go for that, and how do you think the materials turned out?
It's strange. That's the first album we've made, so I think we were a little bit naive.
We were a learning curve, wasn't it? Definitely.
Yeah, it took us longer than we thought.
But we got there in the end. Product that we're happy with, and all guitars sound great, which is important to me and Wayne, big guitarist.
Yeah, it's a kind of an easy process, but difficult at the same time. And like I say, we were a little bit naive, so like Martin was saying, that there's a learning curve. There's some mistakes that we made that cost us a lot in terms of time. Mistakes that we won't make again. But yeah, it was fun. It was interesting. It turned out quite well. There's probably some things we would have done different now, knowing what we know for the next album. But all in all, we're fairly happy with it.
Yeah. So have you started working on new material, or?
Yeah. I went about 3 or 4 songs already.
At least 4 songs in, to what's new album, It's sounding good, sounding nice and heavy.
Is it any different from the first album, or?
Yeah, it's not. It just sounds newer. I mean, like with Ironrat, sort of, as it's gone on, it's sort of evolved musically. So you're always going to get a bit of something new in each song we do.
since we've got a new drummer,
Yeah.
different drummer to the last album, which is Gordon from Lazarus Blackstar.
Yeah.
So naturally with him, it's become heavier.
Yeah.
It's a bit more intense,
Yeah.
I guess. It's a similar kind of sound to the last album, but it's heavier.
Yeah.
And a little bit darker.
Well, that's always good to hear. I mean, obviously Lazarus Blackstar, they are kind of like very full on in terms of like the sound and everything. So it's kind of
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not we're nowhere near as heavy as them.
No, you think that's kind of
I
played?
don't think there's anybody who is, but it's that weight that Gordon brings to it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a slight darker feel, and just an overall heavier sound.
Yeah. So you definitely think he's kind of had an influence on what the new material that's been worked on. Obviously, in that regard, it's definitely had an influence on the new material that's coming up.
Yeah, he's brought ideas, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we always have written as a band. It's not just come from one person really. I mean, yeah, a main riff or a main sort of idea for a song, but we all sort of work together and sort of, contribute and have our own little.
Yeah, Gordon's
bit of
quite a
input.
good structure kind of man for songs. He definitely has good. Well, we've incorporated some already.
Well, yeah, dynamic of the song is it's good like that, isn't it?
So your main riffs generally come from me and Martin, but Gordon's contributed quite a lot to the layout of the songs.
Yeah.
And what he can't play on guitar, he can sort of sing out and say, "I've got this idea.
Yeah.
Maybe this could go like this." He's quite good like that.
Pretty good thing to have. So sort of like have somebody who can kind of like can sort of work from the standpoint of another instrument that they're not necessarily going to play in the band.
Yeah. It kind of frees his mind because he doesn't always realise what's possible on guitar. So it's not there's no limits for his thinking like that. Not that he's asking us to do anything ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
It's only like us as well. We've both got experience of playing drums as well, so we can
Sort of feed
sort
him.
of even maybe jump behind the kit and
Give it your
sort
standpoint
of just
from
say
that
like,
side.
what do you think? Don't laugh, but you know.
But yeah.
trying to get out of
But yeah, in terms of like obviously after this show, have you got any touring plans coming up?
No touring.
Not a tour as such, no. We've got a few dates coming up, haven't we? Where are we at next? Wayne, help.
April 9th of April at Bad Apples in Leeds. It's not, with the way things are with the underground, you can't really tour
As much.
weekdays. There's no one there, so your tours are sort of confined to Fridays and Saturdays, maybe Sundays at an all-dayer.
Yeah. But so obviously, do you think that's kind of something that affects? Obviously, with the underground, it's kind of a case of you're working around your commitments. You're working around your commitments, say in other life, say jobs and everything like that. So, do you think that kind of is a difficulty for smaller bands, or?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, because we all work. We all need to work to pay us bills, and so yeah, getting. Well, I've got family. Stuart's got family as well. On top of that, so it's.
I mean, like Martin says, people have responsibilities. So you've got to go out and work. The underground doesn't pay enough to stop working.
Yeah.
But also, being smaller bands, the audiences aren't there during the week. Bigger bands, people will come out on a Wednesday night. But for these type of bands, this type of music, you play on a Wednesday night in Stoke, for example. You're probably going to be playing to 2 people. It's not that it's not worth those 2 people, because those 2 people probably really enjoy it, but You've got to be able to afford to pay the petrol money and get there, and it's not really financially, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You can't sustain paying out all the time. So you kind of confined to weekends, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame with bands like you guys who you've obviously got a lot of great music to put out, but like maybe is it kind of disheartening if you potentially ever get to a point where you, like you said, like you might be playing to one or two people in the corner of a pub, or
I mean, it's always nice to play to a big crowd, but to be honest, I think when you're playing somewhere and there's only 2 or 3 people watching you, I think you try harder, because those 2 or 3 people have actually made the effort to come and watch you. So you kind of owe it to them to give them a show. If you act like you can't be bothered, you're being an arsehole.
Yeah.
Or you're thinking you're better than you are.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So it's rare that you play to so few.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they've made the effort. If they've paid money to come and see you, you should give them 100% every time.
I enjoy playing my guitar wherever I am, so I enjoy myself. If I'm playing a gig, I'm enjoying myself, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I can't see me being disheartened.
I guess the final question is: have you got any message for your fans that are possibly listening to this interview?
Thanks for being there for us and supporting us, and you know, buying a t-shirt, buying an album, coming to a gig. Thank you very much.
To all those who actually take an interest in us, it's always appreciated massively. It means a lot to us.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, guys, and good luck with your set tonight.